minute summary ever. But I will share the slides with Al in case people have additional questions or would like to look at them with a little more detail. So I'll share that at the beginning of 2021, when I joined the city, there was an audit, and I talked about what that was, looking at the history of our community climate and everything that's current, as well as an audit of the community to see who our community is and who we're composed of. Based on those two, we came up with 3 goals just to start with as a baseline, and that was the recruitment and retention of diverse teammates, professional development, and then community connection and engagement. And then each department came up with action items that mapped up to these goals, right? And so we had a large number of different action items that each department was going to be working on throughout the year. We're very optimistic, and I will say it was a good thing because some things went well and some things didn't, but we learned something from them. And so I just wanted to provide an overview of what that has looked like. So looking at our first goal, which is the recruitment and retention of diverse teammates, we had about 47 action items in this one throughout the city. And some changes that I would like to highlight as a result of that is firstly, all of our postings are currently being reviewed for inclusive language. So removing any gendered language, any references to age, et cetera, et cetera. In addition to that, all of our job postings also have our DEI commitment statement listed on there. And we have started asking questions in the interview like, why did you apply for this job? And it has been surprising to me to hear the number of people who said, I applied for this job because I saw your DEI commitment statement on it, right? So even though that wasn't the intention, that has been a really good result. In addition, different departments have different efforts underway, including internship and career pathways for different departments. So for example, the fire department has a high school program that they're starting, which would hopefully provide young people who might not have been exposed to these careers to get into that. We also have in my department, DEI and community engagement. We're going to have our very first interns in the spring into the summer, and we're specifically looking for interns who are going to be doing engagement efforts within our community who are multilingual. So very excited about that. We've also revised our hiring practices to reduce barriers. So our process is very long and tedious. I don't know how many of you have applied to the city before. So looking for ways to shorten that, make sure the language is more inclusive, etc. And then working on early engagement through K-12. We also have, from a retention front, we started affinity groups, which is not something we had before. So we currently have 5. We're very happy about it. And they range from affinity groups on board games to affinity groups on wellness to affinity groups on DEI topics. So a broad range. And then we started a biannual engagement that kind of keeps track of demographics and climate. So how do people feel at work, as well as exit interviews, so that we know as people are leaving why they're leaving, right? That's not something that we're doing in the past. So this is just a highlight, really excited about that. And then in professional development, we're splitting into 3 categories. So we've had some organization-wide professional development. We also have really department-specific ones. So for example, the library and HR have gone through a series called Seeing White, right? It's a prompted podcast that they listen to, questions, answered, discussions. Our police department has been going through fair and impartial policing, and then Rochester Public Utilities has done a really good job in their website. It's 508 compliant and accessible. But in addition to that, they have embedded language translation into it. So if you go into the website, pick a language, the whole site is in the language that you choose, which I think is amazing. And then we have a cohort model for learning, which I will share on this next slide. So all of our supervisors are going through what we're calling a professional development cultural humility curriculum. There are 4 cohorts, 162 supervisors in leadership. And it is not like a training that you go to one day and then leave. It is a 6-month series. So we started in August, it goes through January. If you want a glimpse of the sessions, this is what they look like. And they've ranged from shared language. We currently just got done with session 4. And I want to say that this isn't training, this is really comprehensive, 2 hours long each time with homework assigned in between. The idea of starting with supervisors and leadership, hoping that we'll be able to recreate and do this with everyone in the whole organization. And I will share that the one that has been most impactful, that I've received most comments on, is session 3, positionality of self within systems. DEI training is often focused on others, right? Let me learn as much as I can about everybody else. But this is focused on also what is it about me and who am I? And so then who am I when other people walk into my space, right? So really identifying dominant culture of whiteness, of Christian values, et cetera, which has sparked a lot of conversation and controversy, but good otherwise. And then we are also working with IMAA and Diversity Council to go through additional learning. And there are 6 facets, and I won't go through all of them. But one that we're really excited about is facet 5, which is a language service one. And this will allow the city to be able to know what documents should be translated or interpreted. When is it useful, depending on the communities that we're working with. But in addition, how to request services, etc. And then our goal 3, which is our community connection and engagement. There were 54 action items that we had. We have been, I don't know if you all have noticed, at almost every community event that we could possibly be in, make sure that we have representation by different departments. We did really huge efforts, and thanks to some of you in here, on voter registration. So providing education, but also bringing registration for voting to places and having people register to vote on the spot, which I think was really great. There were lots of people who did that. And then I put an asterisk on the municipal ID. I wanted to highlight that this was been a year-long process, but went through council and has been approved. So in this year, we will be seeing a launch of this municipal ID. For folks who ask what this is, it's for community members who aren't able to access a driver's license or state ID or something like that, to utilize for many different reasons. So it allows people to get a library card, or to open a bank account, or to access social services, et cetera, et cetera. So very happy about that. And then a resident welcome packet from RPU. If you move into a new home or new residence, you get information that also includes things on weatherization of your home, ordinances on snow removal and shoveling, and things that our communities sometimes don't know how to navigate, and having that on the forefront. And then the social worker collaboration, this is the police department and the library have social workers embedded, so that if folks go into the library and might have some needs, that there's a social worker there that helps them navigate that. Then we have about 6 social workers that go out with our police department to calls. And this is to ensure that things such as, say, mental health or something that is domestic, that isn't necessarily criminal, can be addressed in the right way. And then we're really excited. I'll go back one, sorry. There we go. Really excited. We've been working on this communications and engagement toolkit with a really focus on DEI. So all year long, putting something together. A lot of community engagement is focused on surveys, et cetera, as you might all know. But this specific one that we've put together has a really huge DEI component and focus. And this will allow all city departments to utilize the toolkit as they're engaging community in different ways for different reasons. Then I also wanted to share that we embedded all of our DEI goals into the overarching strategic plan for the city. So you will note that we have, like goal 1, we did have a DEI plan that we have on our website and that we're following along. We've developed an organization-wide professional development plan, which is ongoing. I'm really excited about goal 5 here, which is the development of economic and workforce development strategies. So applying for grants that have a specific DEI focus, such as the Bloomberg Equity and Economic Development Grant. And then we just got through working through a co-design process to develop pathways to home ownership for BIPOC community members. And I see 2 people on this call who were co-designers, Khadija and Zeni. So thank you for your time on that one, and we'll be sharing the results from that one hopefully soon. And then I did want to share that we did have our very first site visit for the grant that I just referenced. And that was on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. So November 15th and 16th, they wanted to come to Rochester, get a look at our city, try to get to know us better, and try to understand how far we have gone in our implementation. And I also attached our flyer. There's information on how folks can reach out to us at this gmc@rochestermn.gov. But they can also use a QR code that will take them right to an interest form. And that interest form just collects their name, contact information, and then we reach out to them. And everything that is provided, whether it's training or linking to work, etc., is at no cost to the BIPOC woman. So if you want to share this broadly, this is not the only way that we'll be doing recruitment. We'll also have workshops by small community organizations to reach out into different micro communities for this. So that was my fast and quick summary, year in review. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will share the slides with Al and Annie as well. I'm assuming that means no questions. Well, thank you all very much.
Any questions? No questions, sir.